3 minutes ago, a criminal group armed with heavy weapons took over the Chinese embassy, located on the 46th floor of this building. They've taken hostages, but exactly how many is unclear at this point. It has, however, been confirmed that at least 10 workers were still in the embassy at the time of the incident. Likewise, the number of perps is unknown. They released a statement right after they took control, calling themselves the Individual 11.
A standoff inside an embassy, huh? Does that mean the indefinite standby order on Section 9 will be lifted now? So what are these Individual 11 people demanding?
An immediate halt to the acceptance of Asian refugees and the complete closure of the 5 refugee residential districts that are spread across the country.
Oh, now I get it. The Chinese government's been diverting the masses of recently declared Asian refugees by sending regular flights to Dejima. I guess they just got caught in the crossfire on this one.
Ishikawa, how's it coming?
I put taps on all the equipment in the facility.
What are the local cops using?
It looks like they're running a wide area jammer, along with a press blackout. All the surveillance cameras in the embassy are destroyed. The perps are negotiating with the cops by way of a phone line that doesn't even have a video feed.
Okay. Once you put a tap on that, come back to the van.
Roger.
Saito?
I've reached my designated point. They've got image curtains drawn over the windows in the building, so I can't verify the situation inside. Neutralizing those curtains will be my top priority.
Good. Everyone else, be ready for the raid and stand by. We'll wait for orders from the chief.
You're just starting the paperwork now. Do you really think we have that kind of time?
I'm sorry, but please remain on standby until the paperwork is ready.
In that case, Prime Minister, why not consider this option? We will still carry out our mission under the cover of the police operation, in utmost secrecy, of course. And it will be imperative for you to obtain the necessary paperwork that can offer post-facto legitimacy for the actions of my team. Then, if you still have any misgivings, feel free to say that Section 9 acted solely under my direction from this point on. So if something were to go wrong with the operation, I would be the only one put on trial for any misconduct. Should the public question the government's role, you could claim your administration had no knowledge of my intentions. Am I right?
I see the rumors are true. You are a shrewd man.
All right, people. We've got 10 minutes max for this operation. There's not much time before SWAT crashes the party. Consider this proof of the chief's faith in us.
So what's the team lineup?
Go in 2-man cells. Bato with Togasa, Pazu with Saito. We'll infiltrate using a different route than the SWAT team.
On our way.
Don't move, damn it.
Screw this.
We're going in now. You, come here.
Major, they came in early.
We are known as the Individual 11. Even if we do fail in our mission today, the individual ego shall carry on our collective will. Therefore, the threat of death means nothing to our people.
You don't say. Careful what you wish for.
Outside the window.
I truly appreciate your outstanding work in this incident. You'll be pleased to learn that I'm approving your budget proposal in its entirety and appointing you to rebuild and run the unit. Here are the papers.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Are you the unit commander who led the operation?
Not a single sarcastic comment back there. That's not like you, Chief. It's because she's a woman, isn't it?
She isn't the one I should tear into. I have no bone to pick with her. Besides, there's never been a recorded case of anyone developing stomach trouble after swallowing their pride.
But don't you think a boss like her could be problematic? She's the type who'd insist on keeping a short leash on her pet pooch. Plus, I can't help but think that the assault order was her way of skillfully getting you to resolve the hostage situation while avoiding the risk of taking responsibility herself.
I have to admit, she doesn't seem to be a typical marionette put in place by the ruling party. Let's not look a gift horse in the mouth and simply celebrate the rebuilding of Section 9.
You're right.
All units, target building confirmed. Operation code IS. I repeat, operation code IS. Attention all units. Armed refugees are in possession of a think tank. Proceed with caution. I repeat, refugees are in possession of a think tank. Proceed with caution. J1, provide backup for mechanized squad as per code IS. Destroy target on site. I repeat, destroy target on site.
Roger that. They may be training exercises, but I gotta blow away the real thing at least once.
J1, your heart rate is exceeding normal levels. Is there a problem?
There's no problem. I'm all right. Target confirmed.
Enemy has missile lock.
Son of a...
J1, your heart rate is exceeding normal levels. Are you all right?
Crap! Shut up! I know it's only dummy rounds, but who can keep calm with that damn alarm going off? I've got...
J1, what's wrong? Your heartbeat is stopped. Come in, J1.
Attention all units, we have an emergency. This is not a drill. The J1 pilot seems to have died inside his cockpit. Cause unknown. For safety, we are lifting code IS. Initiate withdrawal action as per code SA. I repeat, initiate withdrawal action as per code SA.
HA-01AV has failed to respond to the stand-down order. Pilot's life support readings are still green, no change registered. Our readouts are indicating cardiac arrest, but the AI seems to be ignoring orders from
Control, because the pilot's cyberbrain remains active. It classifies the withdrawal order as an external attack, and its top priority is to protect the pilot.
Huh?
Kubota,
Aramaki.
this is a matter that demands immediate attention.
If there's the slightest chance that a criminal act might have taken place, you can't resist poking your nose into things, can you? And please, don't disclose anything that I've just told you. Simply being seen with you like this would cause a big stink. The media would have a field day. If you'll excuse me.
Mr. Aramaki of Section 9, I presume.
Cabinet Intelligence Service Strategic Influence Investigation Commission. Representative Aide, Hitori Goda.
That's Kazundo Goda, It's all right. I rarely meet anyone who's able to read it properly. Although, personally, I never thought it to be that odd of a name. As a matter of fact, I now find it to be perfect. Once I give people the pronunciation, they tend to remember it by means of association. A unique face, a unique name.
Is there something I can do for this Cabinet Intelligence Service of yours, Mr. Godard?
There is. We'd like the help of your Section 9. As you know, a situation's unfolding and we need experts brought in, a crack team. Perhaps it's presumptuous of me, but I wanted to meet you in person. And it goes without saying, Mr. Aramaki. It would be appreciated if you considered this a direct order from the Chief Cabinet Secretary himself. After all, considering the Prime Minister's abilities in crisis management, we can hardly expect to get a quick decision out of her.
This is the residence of a self-defense army pilot? They must not earn much.
Chief? What are you doing here? Why'd you personally come out to the scene?
I'll explain the reason I'm here, Major. This gentleman is an agent with the Cabinet Intelligence Services.
GODA, Strategic Influence Investigation Commission.
I'll get straight to the point. As of this moment, full on-scene command authority is hereby transferred to Section 9 for the purpose of resolving this situation. However, I want you and the team to carry out the operation according to Agent Goda's instructions without question.
Old man, are you serious? I can guarantee you that none of us stuck it out with Section 9 so we could become obedient government lapdogs.
According to our calculations, approximately 48 minutes from now, the first helicopter will crash into the refugee camp. Once that happens, there will be no turning back. Then what? It's clearly terrorism. What will you do about that?
Okay. We'll hear you out. What's your big plan?
I'm so glad you see things my way.
Major, even if we give this guy the benefit of the doubt and believe everything he says, why did you agree with this?
Regardless of whether or not the pilot's sudden death and runaway AI were terrorist acts, if those things crash, they're going to cause a significant amount of damage to the area. And if that happens, it could become a worst-case scenario, turning the refugee situation into a powder keg. Besides, without his information, we wouldn't have had any cards to play.
But my point is, we've got to know where we stand. Oh, forget it.
Saito, you ready?
I'm ready.
Good. Okay, here we go.
Here they come.
Don't drop down to the surface. You won't be able to evade their air-to-surface missiles if they get a lock.
Odds. It's 2-1 and they've already got an edge in firepower.
Good, it's just like he said. Otto, I'm being tailed by the target craft.
He's all yours.
Target acquired. Major, get the target to lift its chin for a second when it passes in front of me. I want to put a round through the canopy from the side so I can take out the pilot without destroying the AI.
Understood. It accepted the code rescind order from Control.
I'm glad our predictions proved correct. I had surmised that if the signal from the dead pilot's cyberbrain were cut off, the support AI would accept the code from Control. Fortunately, my decision was correct. And I'm pleased that my judgment in coming to you for help was also correct. Thanks to Section 9, the self-defense officials don't have to bear the disgrace of killing one of their own.
So what are you saying? Having Saito do the dirty work for them makes everything all right?
Bato, it's okay, I'm used to it.
Good work, everyone. Reports have confirmed that all 11 units returned to their bases with no further trouble.
Togusa gave me his report. Have you heard?
I haven't.
During their search of the dead pilot's home, they found some heart medication that was prescribed to him. It appears he had kept his condition hidden from his superiors.
Do you suspect that Godo was wrong and this wasn't terrorism? You think it might have been just one big accident?
I don't know. There's no way I can be sure. Not without doing a chemical analysis of both the medicine they found and the pilot's blood, and even then it might not prove conclusive.
The impeccable timing of the Cabinet Intelligence Service suggests that they already knew everything. In the meantime, JGSDA helicopters circled over the heads of the refugees, unnecessarily rubbing them the wrong way and putting them in a heightened state of worry, as if that was their intent all along. What does all of this mean, I wonder? Unbeknownst to us, could this be the groundwork being laid for a crime on a massive scale that's only just beginning to unfold?
Is this everyone? Did you get the message from the helicopter as well? Yes. I give my all to the cause. Let's go.
Dig up anything on him?
Nothing so far. Their protection's tougher than I thought. But after all, the intelligence agency is their newest administrative organization. And as far as that dead pilot is concerned, I haven't found anything that would contradict their story that he was hiding some kind of heart condition.
Looks like this is going to be written off as just an accident.
Yeah.
Uncover anything on Goda's personal history?
Goda was a member of a group that was headhunted from the Defense Policy Bureau, and he quickly rose to his current position. But his record at the time wasn't anything special. In fact, he was more like an outcast. To tell you the truth, the man's an enigma.
Who's that?
That's how he looked when he was with the DPB. He apparently had some kind of terrible accident, but for whatever reason, he chose to leave his injuries the way they were.
Sure leaves less of an impression than he does now.
Major, assemble the team immediately.
Did something happen?
Something unexpected. The CIS's backroom dealing can wait till later.
Understood. We'll be right there.
Hey, are you getting this? What did he say? Get him on camera. Swords!
Roughly 30 minutes ago, a group calling itself the Individual 11 gathered at the top of the Kyushu radio tower and committed mass suicide. Using Japanese swords, they beheaded one another. Apparently, out of the 12 who were there, 11 of them died instantly.
So one of them sliced up his buddy and then ran away, huh?
Mm-hmm. For some reason, he decided not to go through with the pact. The fact is, information has recently come to light that since the incident with the helicopters, several acts of terrorism have been carried out by various illegal groups, all of which have called themselves the Individual 11.
What's your source for this intel?
I received it from the Prime Minister herself. All of the crimes in this file were carried out by separate groups, all of whom identified themselves to the authorities as the Individual 11. Just like the group that attacked the Chinese embassy, they see the refugees that were brought in as enemies, and seem to be carrying out attacks specifically designed to provoke them into a violent response. Apparently, the police kept this information under wraps and didn't release it to the media in order to prevent the refugees from becoming even further antagonized. The misappropriation of donations for refugees at JNN TV. The bombing of a refugee aid association. Threats made to a non-profit organization that had donated free prosthetic bodies to refugees. The drowning of a back alley doctor who specialized in prosthetic bodies. The death of a NetBank president who was killed by a train. The stabbing death of a Democratic Party assemblyman. The shooting death of Densetsu, the popular and influential cyber rapper. Threats made against Nanyo Shinbun Press. And lastly, we only just learned of it, but there was the attempt on Prime Minister Kayabuki's life. Out of the 9 crimes that were in this dossier, the only one in which the perpetrator was seen was the failed assassination attempt against the Prime Minister.
Hey, isn't that...
Correct. The would-be assassin also appears to be the sole survivor from the Individual 11 suicide.
That's why she leaked it to us.
Exactly. We don't have an ID on him yet, though there is one thing about the attempt that's noteworthy. Despite the fact that the Prime Minister's security detail shot him with dozens of dum-dum bullets, he simply shrugged off the hits and fled the scene. He's probably using a prosthetic body that was designed specifically for heavy military action.
He's got an immortal. Those bodies were used by troops sent out on overseas peacekeeping operations.
I'll get us started by finding out his identity.
And the Goda line of inquiry?
I want you to stay on it and continue your investigation into his affairs, Major. There's no sign of a conspiracy or direct link between the CIS and the Individual 11 at the moment, but considering these recent terrorist acts commenced the day after the JGSDA helicopters flew over the refugee residential district, I suspect there's a connection of some sort between the two. If we keep working it from both angles, we'll likely find the point of contact between them.
Roger.
About that man who had swapped into a PKF prosthetic body. From his facial data, we've come to the conclusion he's probably someone named Hideo Kuze.
Hideo Kuze.
Right. He was definitely in the military when the peacekeepers were sent to the peninsula. He went missing right after shipping out. You see, with this model, the lifespan on the body is so long that Well, getting one either domestically or abroad is impossible now. And if you don't get regular maintenance done on it, you'll have to swap into a different body eventually. If he's still using the same body and he hasn't been to a government facility, I don't see how this man could be anybody but Hideo Kuze. What's wrong? Not hungry? It tastes the same as it did in the old days.
Just the same as the old days. Bato, I've identified the owner of the prosthetic body. I want you and Ishikawa to start investigating him immediately.
Roger.
So, this is Poseidon Industries' Decaton Care. Tachikoma, generate a virtual personality. Use the memory array he's uploaded here to profile his thought processes.
Roger that!
Identify yourself.
My name is Kazundo Goda. I worked on the molecular engineering robot project at Greater Japan Research and Technology that created radioactive fallout scrubbers.
Fallout scrubbers? You must mean the Japanese miracle. Were you an engineer?
No, not at all. Actually, my brain specializes in linguistic operations. After 2 great wars, this country once again rose to prominence as an economic superpower, thanks to the radioactivity scrubber technology for which I acted as a producer. At the time, I entertained every expectation of rising to the upper ranks of men as well. But even though the Japanese miracle functioned as the ultimate shield against nuclear weapons, it also ushered in a state of affairs that rendered moot the US-Japan Security Treaty, not to mention the Cold War world order. Then came the massive influx of refugees and the hollowing out of the country's economy. If something wasn't done, the country would fade away and die, and I myself could no longer be able to reach the upper echelons of the system.
Japan in the post-war society should have been blessed. But there's a reason why it didn't get a prominent position. Why it failed to acquire one is no mystery. And you weren't able to secure a significant position within the system for that same reason. Society didn't place any concrete value on people who are all talk.
What this country is searching for right now is a return to a Shangri-La way of life that's built entirely on the backs of outsiders. Even now, those without motive long for it without realizing it. My purpose is to create a hero that will help motivate them. Society has the system in place to give birth to the hero that the times cry out for. I am convinced that I possess the kind of ghost that is suitable to be that system. I realized this ever since the accident that left me wandering between life and death. It was the moment my face was transfigured. I am firm in my belief that I can produce any situation I desire by simply rewriting the essential program.
And in the process, you will become the hero?
I'm not interested in things like that now. I realize what my role is, and it's to be the producer of that hero. My purpose is to create an activist who will represent the unmotivated and fulfill the desire of the people, one who will give them what they crave, but are unable to put a voice to.
Well then, I'd like to know who this hero is that you say you're producing for society.
What's the matter? The Decaton Care's been breached. Contact security. It appears we've got a cyber pirate incursion. Took them longer than I expected.
Major! They've spotted our break-in!
Understood. You're trying to manipulate and direct the thinking of the general public by setting up the refugees to be an imaginary enemy of the state, an easy target. Am I right?
It's necessary to guide the people's thinking, as is bending the law in order to do so. The end justifies the means, as they say. This theory applies equally to terrorists and democratic nations.
You're telling me that the public consensus is to get rid of the refugees?
Humility is the chief virtue of our citizens.
Major!
I heard you. One last thing. What about Public Security Section 9?
Yes. What about them? The cycle of hatred based on absence can't be broken now. I expect they'll straddle the line between the will of the people and their own sense of justice, gnashing their teeth all the while.
Major, you'll be in trouble if you don't follow
Out of time.
now.
Ever since the uprising caused by the individual 11 sites, I've been receiving nationwide reports on refugee activity. They're beginning to gather at Dejima in response to the rapid increase in anti-refugee demonstrations. Not surprisingly, the media have been fanning the flames by interpreting this as a prelude to an all-out uprising. Do you have any comments that you would care to make?
I have to admit that I've been getting reports on this matter, too. They refer to the escapee arrest rate going up. But connecting that to an uprising would probably be premature. The sea would stop refugee flow into Nagasaki.
That shows a total lack of understanding of the situation. My Coast Guard patrols have encountered a number of suspicious vessels this month alone. Of those, they prevented 2 ships and 16 boats from docking at Dejima. It's as plain as day that there's refugee traffic into Nagasaki.
I see. Nevertheless, the police are dealing with several other hot issues at the moment that require our attention. At any rate, I feel it's the defense agency that bears the responsibility for your problem with those ships. After all, they were so hungry for an arms buildup that they held a live fire exercise right under the refugees' noses, provoking those normally quiet masses.
It's imperative to debate such issues. However, what we need now is consensus among the various government bureaus. Let's adjourn for the moment and take a break.
I see that you can't even spare enough time to clear your head.
Part of the problem is my lack of clout. But everyone is focused on their vested interests and losing sight of the problem at hand. The refugee issue demands cooperation from all of them, but they...
I know this seems like a heavy load to bear right now, Prime Minister, but remember, you're not alone.
I suppose you're right. By the way, have you succeeded in obtaining any solid information about these individual 11 people?
Yes. According to my people's investigations, there is a possibility that the individual 11, including the man who attacked you, were being spurred on by the ideology of a man known to us. We believe his objective is to manipulate public opinion concerning the refugees and provoke them to the point where they have no choice but to respond.
So you're saying that's the reason behind why the refugees are gathering at Dejima?
Yes, and other things. There also seems to be something rather baffling going on among the refugees themselves. Tell me, do you know what a hub cyberbrain is, Prime Minister?
I don't.
Right then, Major. Please explain.
If you please, Prime Minister, may I link directly with you?
Go ahead.
Originally, the concept of a hub or core didn't exist in the network. But lately, we've been witnessing a phenomenon where a host causes isolated consciousnesses on the net to move in a single direction. By doing this, it creates a sort of collective entity by inviting them into the host's own cyberbrain. Up until very recently, this activity was limited to the scale of communes that were centered around small religious sects or charismatic artists. But now, someone has emerged among the refugees with the ability to win them over and get them to stay in his cyberbrain. I suspect this is the cause of the refugee flow into Nagasaki.
Is it a solitary person? Someone whom we should regard as their leader?
From a practical standpoint, it's hard to believe that this could be a single person. I can't say it unequivocally, but I don't think that any one cyberbrain is capable of influencing the consciousness of 3 million people simultaneously. But if I were asked whether this collective is something like a leader to them, then I would have to say that it is.
I see. The appearance of someone such as that is the primary threat facing the government at this time. Continue to stay on your guard.
I intend to.
When I repealed the Refugee Special Action Policy, my intent was to curb profiteering against refugees. I wanted to resolve the problem, starting with the taxation issue.
Which must mean that one of your political opponents used it to his advantage. Don't worry about it unduly, ma'am. Excuse us.
Why didn't you give her my report on Goda? He is with the CIS. I thought that was the reason why we came all the way out here.
Well, the state she's in right now, I didn't have the heart to tell her.
Really? It's funny how you've never shown me that kind of consideration.
And that's because I think of you like a daughter, my flesh and blood. I don't have to pull any punches.
It hurts to hear that. I was hoping you'd say your granddaughter.
Oh yeah, that was right about the time when that pointless war for the control of Eurasia was finally winding down.
Back then, I snuck into the peninsula on a few occasions. They were already pretty modernized by that point.
Hey, you guys started?
Not yet. We're just warming up, waiting for you to finally blow in.
What do you say we begin now?
1,000 pardons for putting you straight back to work so soon after you returned. Oh, thanks a lot.
It was 2024, and nations around the globe were exhausted from a Fourth World War. Japan couldn't refuse the UN. Not only were they making a bundle from war procurements, but they hadn't been involved in any of the fighting. Aside from the battle to recapture Nemuro, the Self-Defense Army had managed to avoid seeing any combat through 2 world wars. This would be their first trial under fire.
But during the war, the boss man and the major were both overseas in an unofficial capacity, weren't they?
Right.
Unofficial, because the PM who was killed by a terrorist bomb back then was one of the few politicians who held an international outlook.
Anyway, with all this going on behind the scenes, the government clamped down on the media to keep domestic public opinion in check. And the location chosen to deploy the PKF troops was Shinwiju, which was considered relatively safe.
I can still remember the uproar over the deployment. But I guess everybody eventually lost interest when the only footage of it shown on the news reports was of bored-looking SDA soldiers hanging out with the locals.
It figures. But the real situation was entirely different. And the ones who ran the press control from the shadows? They turned out to be the forerunners of today's CIS. They're the former Cabinet Press Agency.
Then, what's the real story with the PKF?
Well, from what I understand, things were much more tragic than we were led to believe. The last of the main forces to be sent into the country was a mechanized unit. Kuze was attached to that outfit. At the time, Shinwiju was a special administrative area, as well as a trade center. Therefore, it was off everybody's list of designated targets. But after the unified government was set up, the fleeing remnants of the People's Army chose to make their last stand in a rural area about 20 clicks to the east of the city. A cyborg infantry unit was to be deployed in 2 companies as guerrilla suppression groups. They began moving into the mountains almost as soon as they arrived. It was the dead of winter. This was their first large-scale deployment on the front lines. Even so, the hybrid PKF prosthetic bodies probably weren't pushed anywhere near their limits, not even when trudging through snow in sub-zero temperatures. Around that time, the main force was on a heightened state of alert after receiving intel that the last elite troops of the People's Army were planning an assault on Shinwiju. The plan was to have the company that Kuze belonged to circle around from the north and launch a preemptive attack. But Kuze's platoon, which had moved out ahead, discovered a refugee camp sitting on the river that ran along the border. This piece of information wasn't in their intel. The scene they stumbled upon was that of a brutal raid underway by soldiers of the People's Army. These men, who were soldiers in name only, had been reduced to nothing more than mountain bandits. Seeing this, Kuze and his platoon were spurred into action by righteous indignation. It was a battle of 30 against 120. But it was all over in the blink of an eye. Their quick victory was no surprise. Kuze's platoon was an elite cyborg unit. Besides, even though the people attacking the camp were ex-military, they were mostly flesh and blood, and every last one of them was suffering from starvation. Although Kuze's unit received several reports of People's Army sightings following this incident, they never saw combat again. They were beginning to feel nerve-wracked from the extreme cold and from not knowing if or when the guerrillas were going to attack. However, the main forces which had set up camp inside the city had it fairly easy.
I remember seeing this footage.
Yeah, but before long, trouble arose in the squad camp out in the rural area.
Let me guess. PTSD?
You got it. Post-traumatic stress disorder. The experience of going through combat for the first time, and a one-sided slaughter at that, slowly began to eat away at the spirits of the young, unseasoned soldiers. Those who still had their own lungs and other internal organs desperately tried to escape the flashbacks and nightmares of the massacre. They found relief from their memories by turning to synthetic alcohol and hashish that the refugees had brought them. Up until then, the Self-Defense Army had earned a reputation for being highly disciplined. When it began to break down, the media in Japan started holding them up to harsh criticism. Because of the press blackout, a factual account of the massacre at the refugee camp never reached the ears of the media. This caused their criticism of the soldiers' behavior to be all the more scathing. As a further result of the blackout, the freedoms of the soldiers were restricted because the press wasn't allowed to report the stories about their shameful actions. It eventually got to the point where they weren't even permitted to return to Japan.
Almost sounds like an isolation ward.
Yeah, and to top it all off, news of the camp massacre was leaked to certain media outlets. Rumors even began to circulate that it might have been the work of Japan's Self-Defense Army. The residents of the rural area came down hard on them, demanding an explanation. But yet again, the strict news blackout worked to the detriment of the soldiers. Neither they nor their commanding officers were able to utter a single word in their own defense. They could do nothing but remain silent about the incident and hide in their tents. One day, after the situation had gone on for some time, a local reporter allegedly said the following to one of the soldiers. He probably intended his remarks to be a dig, since the young man he spoke to no longer possessed the lungs he was born with.
Hey. Buddy, do you have any idea where the term assassin comes from? It stems from an Arabic word meaning one who consumes hashish. There was a Muslim sect of killers who attacked crusaders after the recapture of Jerusalem in the 11th century. They smoked hashish and then would carry out ruthless murders as if they were in a dream. It's known that the crusaders became terrified when they saw this and started calling them assassins. Is that what you guys did? Smoke the stuff and think this place was paradise? How long do you people make yourselves at home after you march into somebody else's country? Bunch of filthy murderers. Huh? What do you want?
You're right. We did consider ourselves as guests at first. I'll trade you for one of those.
With those words, Kuze traded his weapon for a camera. He then wandered into the refugee camp.
What then? What'd he do inside their camp?
Apparently he didn't do anything. He would merely observe the refugees going about their lives through the camera's viewfinder from time to time, and fold various origami figures.
Why? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't have the slightest clue what his real intentions were either. But after he'd been in there for a while, something strange began to happen. First, the camp's elderly members started taking an interest in Kuze, and eventually offered him drinks. Next, the children begged him to make paper airplanes for them. One by one, they befriended Kuze, who never spoke a word. Shortly after that, even the young adult men and women approached the quiet stranger. They too warmed up to Kuze and took turns talking to him. He would simply gaze happily at them and occasionally snap a photo.
And then?
The People's Army surrendered. Kuze kept this up until 3 months later, when the SDA was relieved of its duties. From that moment on, nobody in the media so much as mentioned the infamous massacre again. And the day before the SDA was scheduled to return to Japan, Kuze suddenly vanished from the camp. This single photo from when he was there still exists.
After that, where'd he go?
It was rumored that he crossed the border and headed west, but that's not reliable information. Nobody knows for sure where he drifted. But during the course of my investigation, I spoke with someone who had come back from a refugee area in Taiwan. He told me that he had seen a man there who fit Kuze's description. This guy said that the man's prosthetic hair had turned completely white, but even so, he was positive it was Kuze. He said the proof was obvious. Wherever Kuze went, a crowd of happy people always gathered around him.
Are you Japanese?
Yes, I am.
Well, I'll be. You can talk. Why didn't you say so before?
Oh, hey, Major. You been here long?
Yes, I heard everything. I admit, it's a fascinating story.
Were you able to slip through the Coast Guard security net as planned?
Yeah. They opened up a hole for us and it went like clockwork.
The real deal. With these, we can mount a war.
We didn't buy them for the purpose of fighting a war. These ought to give us enough power so that we don't have to fight.
Is that one of Comrade Kuze's teachings?
That's right.
Huh, I haven't had the honor of meeting him in person yet. Since I don't have net access either, I wouldn't know. So is this man really a revolutionary? The rumor says he's Japanese, too.
I've no idea if he's a revolutionary or not, but he has great aspirations and is a man of action who would do what must be done to achieve his objectives. Come on, let's get this cargo loaded.
Sounds like Dejima's declared itself an autonomous region.
Mm-hmm.
Do you figure Kuze's behind it?
So far, there's been no evidence of Kuze himself, but it's a safe bet that it's him. He's cleverly making effective use of the net to divulge the refugees' intentions to the media.
The Nanyo Press is calling him the Che Guevara of the refugee residential district.
Great, another intangible hero. The thing I don't get, though, is Kuze started out as one of the individual 11, right? Why did the refugees welcome the guy with open arms?
We'll just have to capture him and ask him to answer that in person.
Exactly. Kuze is acting as a hub cyberbrain among the refugees. The first order of business is to follow the trail from Kuze back to Goda. Do that, and we'll have the authority to challenge the CIS.
Let us into Dejima, now! Let us cross the bridge!
Bato, you and the others go on ahead and gather information on how extensively the refugees are armed. Ishikawa and I will dive the refugees' net, then rendezvous with you after we've pinpointed Kuze's location.
Roger. The refugees have been building up this high-rise slum for over 20 years. That's why I don't find it strange that they refer to the place as their castle.
Barrier maze? He's using zoning to only allow access to refugees? There's no way to pinpoint his position right now.
This is a fixed route, though. Judging by that, I'd say he's somewhere in Dejima, ma'am. Hey, that must be it! Gosh, there sure are a lot of refugees accessing him. Yeah, but even so, I don't see any obvious defenses aside from the filtering. Orders, ma'am?
Okay, we'll dive in before the enemy knows we're here. Prep a full sensorium mask. Our target is Kuze's field of vision. We'll use that to determine his exact location.
The individual 11 virus.
I see it, but at the moment our priority is to establish Kuze's whereabouts. You retrieve the virus file, Ishikawa. Find out if it acted as a trigger for the individual 11.
I'm on it.
Tachikoma, inject the mask array. I'll cross his ghost line using my chroma file. this oppressive memory matrix?
Major, you have to hurry! Your full sensorium mask is degrading rapidly!
I wouldn't if I were you. If you link any deeper with me, you'll die.
He can already see through my sensorium mask? Attack barriers won't work on me.
No, I meant that if you link with my consciousness, it will make you want to die.
That's it!
Major! Touch coma. Something's happened. Pull out of there now!
Roger!
Major! Shake it off! Major! Touch coma. Was it a defense barrier?
I don't know, but I didn't detect any evidence of attack barriers or viruses!
Wake up. Major? You okay? What was it? What did you see?
Just a delusion. That can wait. The important thing now is to track him down with the data I found. Get Bato and the others back here.
Where the hell is he?
He's camouflaged a ship and gone up to Eterofu.
Huh?
This guy is tough, and he's on that ship right now. And, damn it, I know him!
Let's move.
The deal's been made. Tomorrow, at long last, we will fulfill our dream.
You serious?
Really?
Finally. I had faith. I knew you could do it.
At least now, we have a chance. It's a revolution!
He's one of the individual 11.
Come on, you gotta eat something. You sure you're feeling all right?
Disgusting. This so-called food tastes awful. I'll have to complain to the chief.
We've got some time to kill before we land. Do you want to run a cyberbrain function check?
I'm all right. The extent of Kuze's delusion threw me for a loop. That's all it is.
I mean, that's what I don't get. What the hell kind of delusions can this guy possibly have, huh?
To put it simply, I guess you could call it world domination.
What'd you say?
He sounds like a serious megalomaniac. You're not one to let something like this get to you.
You remind me of a moody teenager who's just met the man of her fantasies. Jeez.
Right. But we do know one thing now. Despite the fact that he should have died on that rooftop when the individual 11 virus manifested itself, somehow he was able to resist its effects, and now he's putting his life on the line to help the refugees. But while this delusion he entertains might be absurd, the thing that keeps me from laughing it off is that he genuinely believes he can bring peace to the world by rising to power as a dictator. That's the sense I got from him. Plus, his adrenaline secretion levels were high enough to kill an ordinary man. In my opinion, it's safe to assume that the man's reached a sacred level.
What do you mean, sacred level?
Kuze's becoming extraordinary. The refugees who are continually linked to him by way of a zoned and filtered net are experiencing a high from the live feed of Kuze's actions. But the reason they don't attempt to influence him and share their consciousness is because they know that the area beyond his ghost line is a kill zone. Even I had a pretty close call in there.
Well, that was a downer.
Yes? What is it?
I came on board this ship because I heard we were gonna buy weapons. But if I'd known that you were the one who was leading the mission, I never would have had anything to do with this.
I see. In that case, don't follow me. You're free to go home, or you can disappear into the streets of Etorofu if you like. I won't force you to stay.
I'm all for a revolution, you know. But the one who originally taught us how to revolt was the man you killed, Densetsu. Now Comrade Kuze is the name that most people on Dejima have come to know. But there are very few who have any idea who you really are. That's why I just don't buy into all of your hype. I'm still prepared to follow Densetsu's teachings and blow myself up.
Don't be foolish. Doing that would be nothing but an act of self-gratification. Revolutions are only brought about by people's ghosts.
This is why I need to find out more about you. Just give me a reason to believe in you. That's all I'm asking. Because otherwise... Well, how about it?
The weapon that we're to obtain today is plutonium. I'm going to use it to coerce the Japanese government to recognize Dejima as an independent country.
I've sent Bato and Saito to Sagawa's underground factory. Everyone else remain on standby in case we got the deal location wrong.
Roger.
Tokusa, I want you to wait here for me. Krolden, it's Major Kusanagi. I still owe you for your help during the Nemuro landing up, but... An attack barrier? He wasn't fried that long ago. Where was he diving that got him killed? Someone's still in the system. Even so, if the guy fried a hacker of Krolden's caliber, he must have some serious ability. The way the attack barrier was configured isn't sanctioned by the Secrets Preservation Act either. Found it. Floppies? He's using pretty antique media for external memory storage. Was that guy still here because he had trouble erasing these? Sagawa's secret ledgers. So, that hacker just now was with the CIS. $240 million yen? How did the refugees come up with that kind of cash? Did Kuze line it up for them? If he did, how did he do it? This was still a big help. You once said that the Japanese company you hated the most was Sagawa Electronics. Now I get it. You should have thought it over before you gave up your job with the press ministry. If you hadn't quit, the CIS might have turned into a more legitimate agency.
We should get going. It's almost time.
Wait, tell me one other thing. I once heard that you would need something like $250,000 to buy plutonium. How are you gonna get that much money? You gonna con plutonium out of the Russians?
No, I'll buy it from them fair and square. The citizens live off the sweat of the refugees' brows, so to help them understand our suffering, I'm arranging for them to make a small donation to us. I suppose that doesn't clarify things very well. This is how it works. The people who take their warm clothes and full stomachs for granted have a combined savings easily in excess of 900 trillion yen. Of course, they also pay no attention to this total. In addition, did you know that there are sums that don't officially exist among the interest accrued by those savings?
They don't exist? What do you mean?
Amounts of less than 1 yen. Fractional numbers that aren't normally displayed. They don't even appear in the terminal's data. I realize that if one were to simply collect those tiny sums from online bank accounts, it would add up to tens of thousands per day. I put together a program that deposits these leftover funds into my dummy account. That's where I got the money. The general public is completely unaware that they have fractional sums of money in their bank accounts. And as for bank management, it's entirely left up to AI now. In spite of the fact that refugees are taxed if they work on the mainland, they aren't allowed to become naturalized citizens. For the citizens' part, they don't even recognize the massive exploitation inherent in the system. They absorb only the information that appeals to them, that's easy to accept. Theirs is a phony society. I want to open their eyes to that fact.
Let's hurry up and get this transaction over with.
As you wish. The deposit record for the account you designated is stored in here. Verify it.
I'll go first. The rest of you follow when you can.
A deal, since neither one of us will be able to verify the goods.
Of violating the revised arms export law and illegal trafficking in nuclear materials.
Come on, show yourself already. Dicey, Saito. I'll handle things here. You nab Corum.
Got it.
Crap. I'm heading out. Make sure you squash that bug. Kuze! Hold it! Put the cases on the ground.
Why didn't you shoot right away? Because you know what's in the cases?
I don't give a damn what's in them. The only thing I'm after is your head.
I don't think you'll be able to do that. Grab the cases and get back to the ship.
But Kuze...
Go!
You think you can take me, you b****? You're overconfident with that PKF body of yours.
It's exceeded its product lifespan. It no longer gives me an edge.
But you think you're gonna beat me anyway? That pisses me off. Since your pain receptors are turned off, I can only knock you out with a brain concussion.
Did you used to be in the Rangers?
So what if I was?
You fight well. I probably only won due to a minor difference in motivation. There are things I still have to do. Don't follow me.
Son of a...
Over there!
Bato! Why are they moving like that? Are both of them unmanned? Bato! Where's Bato?
He went after Kuze!
We're going after him! What was that arm suit doing back there? The GSDA doesn't have any reason to get mixed up in this. What about Coil?
Mr. Saito's chasing him.
Good.
We need to launch now. They'll be on top of us any minute.
If you're looking for the kid, it seems he got off the ship. He disappeared sometime after you and the others took off to go make the deal.
Okay.
Kuze! Cover me!
Major!
They're heading for Nagasaki. We'll go back and get Bato, then chase after them in the tilt rotor.
Roger.
We'll have company soon. Head for Shikotan for the time being. The other camouflage boats like this one should have left Dejima by now. We'll wait for our people, then slip through the Coast Guard's net.
We're gonna have a real big problem if those guys back there come at us from above.
We better prep the AA cannon.
Lead.
What happened to him?
Somebody took you out, boss man?
Don't worry about it. I'll be fine.
We're heading out now. We're going after Kuze's ship. Ishikawa! Behind you! Shake him off!
Ishikawa!
He blew himself up!
Shit!
They're not stopping.
I'm afraid threats aren't going to work here. Bring us in closer.
Yes, sir. Take us in closer.
Prepare for anti-ship fire.
Anti-ship fire. Ready, sir.
Opening fire.
Did you hit it?
Hit scored.
Direct hits confirmed.
They're firing on us. We're taking it to starboard. Ship starboard is taking fire.
We're under attack. You cleared to return fire in self-defense. Open fire.
Fire! Fire!
Watch it. Stay clear of the fuel tanks. What if the plutonium gets blown?
That was footage taken by a Coast Guard patrol vessel as it sank their disguised ship.
Our team has incurred serious damage over the course of this case. One member is wounded, and we've lost our tilt rotor as well. This operation could be considered a complete rout.
So Kuze's camouflage ship was sunk. Any word yet on the plutonium turning up?
The mere possibility that plutonium might have been snuck into Dejima has the government taking this very seriously. I have secret information via the Home Affairs Ministry that a deployment of JGSDA troops is being considered as if this was fact. However, it's also a fact that a compelling argument can be made that there are insufficient grounds to justify dispatching troops to the island.
So you're thinking that something will happen before too long that will justify it?
It's nothing but conjecture at this point, but it does seem very likely.
In that event, then, what'll the refugees do next? And if your suspicion about Kuze failing to buy the plutonium is right on the money, what do you think you'll do, Major?
We are coming to you live from above the Kyushu radio tower. A ghost town. 5 days ago, a mass evacuation began with the discovery of an unexploded bomb planted in a subway construction site. It's believed to be a tactical nuclear device from the last World War. This removal of 35 million people within a 30-kilometer radius has finally been completed under the direction of the Self-Defense Army. However, some parties are speculating that this may be another act of refugee terrorism. The government has made no specific announcements, and with part of Fukuoka sealed off by the Self-Defense Army, the city appears as if it's been placed under martial law.
I'll admit there are flaws in the government's response to this, but still, it ain't like their authority's been handed over to the military.
You're right. Now the public is directing its anger toward the government, and support within the government for refugee expulsion is increasing. No one seems to be giving a second thought to the consequences and what this means to the country. Even if this is all the result of data manipulation by the CIS, the false information isn't going to simply vanish.
Bato, any clue what's wrong with the Major?
Didn't I report she's been acting weird ever since she dove Kuze's cyberbrain back in Dejima?
Right now, you need to focus on disposing of that nuclear bomb. The CIS has already started to take control of the scene under the pretext of media control. I'm going to negotiate with the Prime Minister and request authorization to investigate the CIS.
Say, Major, after all this, why do you think the refugees are being so tight-lipped?
The truth had already been silenced before the phenomenon. Kuze must have come to that conclusion. Right now, he's not talking, even keeping the refugees in the dark. He's desperately searching high and low for anything that will let him turn the tables again.
What makes you suspect that?
Because that's what I would do if I were him.
You know, your mind doesn't seem to be on the job at all.
Have the arrangements for the Japanese miracle been made?
Excuse us, ma'am.
Everything is ready.
I see. It's unfortunate that it's come to this. As soon as the bomb defusing is carried out, I plan to hold a press conference with the intention of announcing the truth to the country. Then, after that, the Self-Defense Army will probably be authorized to invade Dejima.
Madam, as I had written in my report to you, it's very improbable that refugees have actually obtained some plutonium. The CIS quite likely worsened the situation up to this point. Prime Minister, I request that you delay the invasion, please, at least for the time being.
Yes, I've read your report. However, we're already out of time. Based on intelligence recently gathered from the Russian authorities, the government is now operating under the assumption that plutonium has already been brought into Dejima.
Please pardon my saying so, but isn't that how the CIS wants you to react, ma'am? No one wants it, but after the SDA invades, what we're gonna find waiting for us is a full-scale war against the refugees. Prime Minister, please present the findings of that report to the cabinet.
If only this had been brought to my attention sooner.
To Kayabuki with love. A unique way to express one's love.
I heard they used to write stuff like this on the nose cones of bombs like Fat Man or on Tomahawk missiles.
They're imitating the Americans?
Don't know. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't.
You won't have a problem with us talking right above the area where they're defusing the nuke, will you? So how far are you planning to take this?
Take what?
Aggravating this situation.
I'm afraid that's a question for the refugees or military analyst. It's outside my area of expertise.
Yeah, like hell it is. The fabrication of a mediator who will give rise to copycats. That was the subject of your old field research. And, unbeknownst to anyone, there was a megalomaniac who had a growing hunger for his 15 minutes of fame. Eventually, he wanted to produce a hero who was greater than himself. Wasn't the Individual 11 just a fake standalone complex, created by a criminal along those same lines?
My, what a fascinating story.
Sneaky son of a bitch. But when it's all said and done, you're simply second-rate.
Kill the lights.
Does the cover look crooked to you? Clear?
Found it. One parallel reflector switch.
Okay, I'm inserting the mirror.
I've cut all the photoconductor elements. Huh? It's a mock-up of an implosion-type nuke.
Then this is their way of saying that they did have the time and technology. They just chose not to build one.
What are you talking about?
There was a different retrieval team that came through here just a few minutes ago.
A what?
Boma, now that you've gotten a look at the bomb's construction, what's your take on it?
There seems to be a message from the refugees written on it, but something's weird.
What is it?
The explosives are M112 demo charges, the same type used by the US Army, but the refugees have always used C4.
I see. You stay there till it's finished, then meet up with the transport team.
But I still haven't found anything that links the CIS to
That's enough for now.
Roger that.
What exactly do you mean I'm second-rate?
We met a standalone type hacker a while back who was a true prodigy. That mass stunt to the individual 11 might have made temporary heroes out of them. It was pretty theatrical, I'll give you that much. Maybe it even helped trigger an uprising among the refugees. But come on. Can you honestly say that the ideology they subscribe to has caught on with the refugees? I don't buy it. Compared to that hacker prodigy I was telling you about, these guys who killed themselves up here pale in comparison. And the same goes for the guy who programmed the virus that triggered their mass suicide.
Goodness, you almost seem to be implying that I was the programmer who manufactured the virus.
Well, hey, only someone who was guilty would think that.
Let's assume what you're saying about the individual 11 is true, and they never did pass their ideology on to the refugees. Perhaps in reality, the original objective was the creation of this hostile situation that we are currently facing. Then wouldn't one be forced to say that the felon who produced the group is really quite an extraordinarily talented hacker?
I hate to admit it, you would have to be pretty good. But let's not rush to any conclusions. We should probably consider the X factor that's at the center of this whole mess, and the impact it's had on everything that's happened as well.
They're up top.
Hideo Kuze, the only member of the individual 11 who didn't kill himself that day. Afterwards, he vanished to who knows where, and when he resurfaced, he'd become the leader of the refugees. Pretty bizarre, isn't it? Could it have been just a fluke? Or was it something that was carefully planned from the very start?
His behavior was completely opposite of that shown by the other individual 11, so that must be your X factor coming into play. But one can see that his actions are actually having the effect of fueling the anti-refugee sentiment. Let's consider his behavior for a moment. Although different from the others, he's still navigating the situation to the same conclusion. Therefore, I suggest that our suspect has also produced this unknown variable, your so-called X factor.
You think so? I'll admit that what he's doing is spurring support in favor of getting rid of the refugees, though. And now, here we are. Even as we speak, there's a nuke somewhere below us that we're trying to defuse. If the leader of the refugees has hit him this hard, I guess the government has no choice but to take off the kid gloves. But the question is Kuze really the one who's behind this whole affair? Couldn't it be just a fabrication that's cooked up by the criminal who's acting as his producer? Or more to the point, couldn't you say that his criminal producer is unwittingly helping Kuze with his plan? Not only that, but is this guy now beginning to follow Kuze's actions?
What do you mean by that?
Kuze came back to Dejima, but he didn't have any plutonium with him. Normally, he wanted to tell the refugees about that and defuse things temporarily. But instead, we've now got a terrorist situation involving plutonium. So, what does he do? Does he play along with his producer's plan and actually try using a bluff to declare war? Nah, he doesn't do a damn thing. Right now, he's keeping his mouth shut, getting the refugees to stay quiet because he's looking for something that'll let him turn the tables. Or on the contrary, maybe by keeping quiet, isn't it really Kuze who's drawn a trump card, and now he can control the situation? Kuze started out as an X Factor and nothing more. So if he's the genius, the bona fide hero in this, isn't it possible that the guy who thinks he's his producer has in reality turned into Kuze's copycat somewhere along the line?
Okay, it's all yours.
Roger.
Despite the fact that those men believed in a fabricated ideology, they didn't become the heroes to anybody, and they even sacrificed their lives for it. I wonder where their ghosts are wandering right now. Major, were you able to retrieve the plutonium?
The job's done.
Good. I used your external memory to talk with him about Kuze as best I could. But I'm not so sure it worked.
Right. We'll take this straight to Spring 8. The information warfare pros were determined to make this look real, and they left material behind. That'll be their undoing. If this plutonium matches what we collected at the Shinjuku nuclear plant, it'll prove that the CIS is behind this incident.
Roger that. Goda, you know, we're just like Kuze, because we haven't given up the fight yet either.
Is that so?
Oh, there's one thing I forgot to ask you. We finished analyzing the virus that was used on the individual 11, but we still can't pinpoint the factor that causes it to manifest. If it was you, what would you use as the final triggering factor?
Well, if I were the culprit, the factor I would probably use is virginity. They'd have been virgins prior to getting their prosthetic bodies.
Huh? What the hell?
If you're looking for someone who is prepared to martyr himself as a hero of the masses, that is the essential factor. Of course, it would be a bit of a gamble as to how many people have that particular outstanding talent.
That goes beyond the limits of being perverse.
Perverse? Well, if you must know, I myself am a virgin. This has been a most enjoyable chat. Or informative, rather. I'm grateful. From what we've seen, I expect those you are pursuing have yet to give up the fight. Therefore, the only real question remaining is, will the plans they're working on come to fruition, or will you stop them first? I imagine the answer to that will be left entirely up to our X Factor. Now, if you'll excuse me.
The target vehicle has been found abandoned in a parking area on the Nagasaki Expressway.
What about the plutonium?
There was no sign of it.
I see.
We have no choice. We can't permit the media to catch wind of this. We'd like you to give #1 priority to information manipulation and work under our command in the retrieval of the plutonium.
I understand that. I'll let you handle this, but...
No need to worry. If you do exactly what I tell you to, everything will turn out fine. I'll go back to the office and begin working on a way to spin this situation.
Understood, sir.
Well, it appears as if the Major and the others are already on their way to Spring 8 as we speak, Chief.
Very good.
It's been officially decided to mobilize the SDA. The Chief Cabinet Secretary's press conference is at 7 o'clock, at which time the mobilization will commence.
That's a little under an hour from now.
I expect they're already preparing in Nagasaki.
Mr. Aramaki, I don't know what the Chief Cabinet Secretary hopes to gain by letting the situation deteriorate this badly. That will only serve to turn it into a quagmire. Dejima will fall almost as soon as the fighting begins, so it won't become one of the security treaty's potential enemy states. But that won't conform with the Chief Cabinet Secretary's agenda to establish a military-industrial complex.
Quite true. Nevertheless, if we assume that this quagmire is his goal, it makes a certain amount of sense. Even if the refugees do surrender, it doesn't mean that they're simply going to go away. It provides a reason for taking the funds for refugee policy and diverting them towards a military buildup.
You're absolutely correct. But it's going to mean more pressure from China as well.
He's clever, so he must have another trick up his sleeve that we're not aware of. It occurred to me just now. Perhaps you could hand the decision over to the UN in order to buy some time.
Major, it looks like the JGSDA has a checkpoint up ahead.
Well, I don't expect they're gonna let us through that easily. Got a plan?
Major, it's me. The Prime Minister has submitted a request to the UN for a nuclear inspection. If all goes well, the inspection team will arrive in Japan in 2 days. Then, if we can hand the plutonium over to them when they come, there's a strong chance we can put an end to this situation. Can you avoid the SDA till then?
Yeah, if we can find somewhere to lay low. I think hooking up with the inspection team is going to be pretty tricky, though.
Find a way to make it work. Our options are running out. This might be the last card we have to play, Major.
I'll do everything I can. Also, regarding the Tachikoma...
What's wrong?
We were just cut off.
Maybe it's some kind of local restriction because of the national emergency.
The conference will be starting soon. I'm off to the press briefing room.
So, what have we got ourselves? A war?
United Nations. Did Kayabuki call them in?
Yes.
See to the preparations for removing her from office.
Yes.
All right, let's get started.
We demand that the Japanese government acknowledge Dejima as an independent country! With that acknowledgement, we'd be able to trade freely and live self-sufficiently! Where's the crime in that? We have nuclear weapons in our possession! The government has admitted to this fact! This is the fruit of Comrade Kuze's labor! For that reason alone, throwing him out is an unthinkable act!
Our deadline before we commence an attack is 2 days. The arrival of the UN nuclear inspection team will be the final deadline. If by that time we do not receive an answer from the refugees on this, we will have no choice but to initiate preliminary attacks. That is all.
Looks like it started.
Now that we've been cut off from the chief, we don't have an option. Under the circumstances, we'll have to operate on our own initiative. But I'll leave it up to each of you to decide whether or not to take part in this op.
Oh?
Hey, come on. It sure ain't as if this is the first time we've had to act like a pack of rogue thugs. We're only planning to play hide and seek with the self-defense army, aren't we?
No, we're gonna be transporting the plutonium to Dejima.
Huh? What the hell?
That's right. We'll sneak into Dejima under the cover of the SDA invasion. Besides, that's where the inspection team will be going. When we're there, we'll nab Kuze, then give him and the plutonium to them as a package deal.
Something that crazy could only come from you. I'll come along for the ride.
Well, I'm okay with it.
Count me in, of course.
It's not that I object, but...
So you're against it?
No. I'll earn my pay on this one in exchange for some cheap thrills as a bonus.
It's unanimous, then. Ishikawa, what's your condition?
That you, Major? I'm still laid up in bed.
Come on, a little medical leave isn't so bad. The reason I'm calling is that I have a favor to ask.
What do you need? If there's anything I can do to help, I'll do it.
I just dispatched a Tachikoma that's on its way out to you. Inside the pod is half of the plutonium we recovered from the Kyushu broadcast tower. I want you to take it to Spring 8.
Oh, okay. I see what you're up to. Sure, I can do that for you. But what about you guys?
We're heading for Dejima with the remaining plutonium.
To Dejima? That's one seriously insane plan you come up with. What about Tokusa?
He's with the chief at the Prime Minister's residence.
I see. Major, I'm sorry I can't be there with you guys. But don't do anything reckless. If they start bombing the place from the air, there's no telling what will happen.
I know. You should watch your back, too.
You can count on me.
I'll leave you to it. You can look for us on the news when we hand over the plutonium to the UN inspection team.
Be careful, Major. Don't get yourself killed.
Hey, Major.
Hmm?
Can I ask you a question?
What is it?
Back when I used your external memories to have my little chat with Goda, well, I felt guilty about doing it, but I took a peek at your memories involving Kuze.
So?
It wasn't as though I actually saw anything, but I got the impression that you have some feelings for Kuze. When you, dove his brain, what happened to you?
Nothing special happened while I was in there. But when I made contact with his memories, he reminded me of someone I had been close to long ago.
Someone you were close to?
From back when I was injured. It was so serious I couldn't even move my body, so I spent day after day just lying there, bedridden and feeling helpless. But there was a boy who was in the same situation as me, and he kept me going. Actually, all he did was single-mindedly fold origami cranes. But at the time, seeing him fold all those cranes gave me hope to live. It's just the way things worked out, but later on, I had to leave without getting a chance to say goodbye. I never saw him again.
You think Kuze was that boy?
I'm not certain. All I have is this strange feeling it was. Doesn't matter, though. It's all ancient history now.
Okay, we're just about there.
So, you must be Hideo Kuze.
And you are?
You know, I saw you overseas once.
You did?
You were surrounded by a crowd of followers in Taiwan at the time, but it appears that there are very few people here in Dejima who actually know what you look like.
It's because many people here have cyber brains.
Ah, I see. That's the method you've been using to spread your beliefs among the refugees. Of course, I find it remarkable that you've maintained the mental strength to continuously answer questions from nearly 3 million people. In fact, I believe it's nothing short of miraculous.
Yes, but there is a hidden danger in it.
Hidden danger?
Yes. Just as water runs downhill, the human heart also tends to revert to its basest instincts.
Oh.
After I broke free of the ideological virus and returned to Dejima, numerous refugees began to link with me. Ever since then, I've come to value their goals. I have dedicated myself to helping them fulfill their dream and made that my sole motivating principle. That's why it wasn't difficult to become the leader of these people.
If you weigh your duties and your rights by placing them on a scale and add weights to the rights side first, you won't lose yourself even if you obey society's rules.
Yes. After I was introduced to it, I found that concept to be vastly appealing. But once the refugees learn of the existence of the upper levels of the hierarchy through the net, even they forget that fact and eventually digress to their most elemental state. When you have power, you want to put it on display. It's the same when you have a weapon. You want to try it out.
Since you're already aware of that, why have you drawn out the situation this far? Did you seriously believe that you'd be able to accomplish this revolution nonsense without any difficulty?
No, I didn't. However, the revolution that I have in mind is still a ways off.
A lifetime ago, I left public service due to my fascination for people. If you would consider the advice of a doddering old codger like me, I'd say place your priority on reality rather than ideals. There's still time to put an end to this whole mess, you know?
Tachikoma, I'm going to dive Kuze's cyberbrain one more time. Back me up.
You think that's safe to do?
Connecting with him is not the difficult part. The real question here is whether or not he'll accept a message from us.
Representative, we've received a report that a helicopter just took off without orders from the Omura garrison.
So, we found them. I see that they're following my script to the letter. What's the status of our EP3C deployment?
Sir, we believe it's already on station above Dejima.
Good. We'll begin with that. We'll cover all of Dejima with a jamming signal, rendering the refugees into standalones. If we do that, the refugees will start running out of control on their own.
Gosh! The net's being cut off! It looks like a communication blackout is starting on Dejima!
Have a defense barrier array on standby. We'll fire in our message file at once.
Roger!
What's wrong?
They're coming here? And they're bringing the plutonium with them.
What are you talking about?
We're cut off from the net. The SDA's jamming us? They must be trying to isolate the refugees.
The tanks are coming!
It looks as though someone in the government subscribes to the same philosophy as me.
What should we do? Don't know. Let's go.
I'll go to the barricades on the bridge. The odds are high that the fighting will break out. I can't allow people like you to be killed. You must escape. Please get out of Dejima if you can.
You're the one who can't die, Kuze. There must be something you can still do.
I hope you're right.
Did it work?
The message got in just before the net was cut off, Major.
Good.
I'm gonna kill these guys! I hit one!
We got a man down! Cover us!
I hear gunfire. Who started the attack?
Just as water runs downhill, the human heart also tends to revert to its basest instincts.
What the hell happened? It looks like fighting broke out.
The tanks are coming in like we thought! Drop the bridge now!
The refugees are now completely isolated.
Prime Minister Kayabuki, just moments ago you were relieved of your duties as Prime Minister. You are to come with us now.
Relieved on what grounds? By whom?
Requesting a United Nations inspection team on your own authority can be construed as an act of treason under national emergency legislation.
I demand to know who authorized this.
What's going on here?
Chief Aramaki of Public Security. You are also under suspicion of instigating treason, and you'll be taken into custody. Please turn around and go back inside that office.
Hey, who the hell do you think you are? Hey!
It's just like the last time.
Yeah, and I bet the government was planning to do this all along. I dare those STA bastards to set foot inside Dejima.
Put down your weapons! Lower them right now!
Kuze? Huh?
Don't take any action. If you keep your weapons down, they won't attack.
You're the one? That's him? Comrade Kuze?
Listen to me. Round me up some men who are crack shots. I'll link everyone up to my cyber brain again.
We're on it.
Major, you're about to cross over into the channel zone. Be careful!
Leave a channel open even if the signal cuts out. Also, keep an eye on the situation on the water.
Yes, ma'am! So far, the Gigabackies have been circling at regular intervals, approaching at low
We lost him. Let's do it!
A chopper with an incorrect IFF code is approaching from Dejima's north side. It vanished into the ECM zone.
That's them. Take us in on the same course.
Roger.
Representative, Section 4's helicopter entered Dejima a few moments ago.
Fine.
This means we should be able to retrieve the plutonium, doesn't it, sir?
No, not at all. Retrieving the plutonium is not the real reason I sent Section 4 in there.
Well, What do you mean, sir?
You'll understand soon enough.
So our signal's finally been cut off, huh? That's right. I sure hope Mr. Bato's gonna be okay. I know what you mean. Those Jigabachi AIs were awfully vicious.
Yes, they were.
I admit, I was scared. That reminds me. Think that Bozo met up with Mr. Ishikawa yet? Good question. Hey, did you manage to hook up with Mr. Ishikawa?
Come on, I couldn't possibly be there already. I'm traveling there physically on the ground, darn it.
Oops, you're right. Sorry. How are things going on your end, Mr. Ishikawa?
I'm on my way there as well. What happened with the Major?
We have visual confirmation on her and the others. They're okay for now.
I see.
But they're still in a lot of danger. Those Jigabachis have air supremacy, so they've got to watch out.
And we can't get hold of the Chief either. It looks like we're gonna have to operate under our own initiative from here on in. The refugees in Kusei, the government in Goda, the Chief and the Major, and then there's us. Not hard to guess what'll happen next. Whoever can pull off the biggest grandstand play is gonna win all the marbles.
No good. I can't set this bird down. There's too much debris on the ground.
Okay then. We'll go down one at a time by rope.
Oh, sh**.
Hang on! The rudder's been hit!
Proto, status? Can we get through to the Tachikomas?
Yes, somehow.
Really? I knew you'd do it. I never would have been able to do that myself.
That's not true, sir. You're a man who's capable of meeting the demands of any situation.
Kayabuki, you think she's all right?
She's probably being kept under house arrest somewhere. They'll want to keep the fact that she was ousted a secret from the media until the situation is completely resolved.
In order to shift the blame for it onto her after the dust clears.
Right. For all intents and purposes, though, she remains the Prime Minister until they've made their official announcement. There will still be situations where we'll have need of her services.
No doubt.
Sir, I've established contact with the Tachikomas. According to their last visual of the team, the Major and the others have entered Dejima with the plutonium.
Dejima?
Well, clever idea. And their condition?
It's bad. Evidently, there was a skirmish between the refugees and the self-defense army.
Are you serious? What about the Major and Boss Man?
They can't make contact because Dejima is being jammed by an ECM field. Therefore, the Tachikomas can't verify if they're dead or alive.
Vato, I'm going on ahead.
There's no rush.
We can't use our comms. Don't use your optical camo either. Otherwise, there's a chance you'll hit one of our own.
I don't see Mr. Bato and the others helicopters at the crash site. What's up with that? It looked as though some soldiers were dropped off. I just don't get it.
I don't see the Major either. Of course, they might be using optical camouflage.
Hey, everybody. What do you suppose this is? What?
Let's have a look.
As you can see, there's a huge metallic mass 370 kilometers east of the Okinawa Reef that's rising to the surface. It's just barely inside the boundary of Japan's exclusive economic zone. You don't think... No, it can't be. It's not one of the American Empire's nuclear submarines, is it?
An American submarine?
What could it mean that they're inside the 200 nautical mile boundary? Goda's the one who's controlled everything up until now. He assumed that this would happen all along. Is that why the Chief Cabinet Secretary put a rush on the US-Japan Security Treaty?
It's not inconceivable.
Chief, look, let's go and get the Prime Minister back. Like you said earlier, she's still Japan's acting Prime Minister as far as diplomatic relations are concerned. There's a chance that she may be able to use her authority to stop the nuclear attack.
Yes, you're right.
Proto, do you think you can find out where they're holding the Prime Minister?
I'll run a search right away.
Proto! Hey, are you all right? Damn, an attack barrier got him.
Mr. Togusa.
Huh? Proto?
I found the Prime Minister's location.
Proto, I had no idea you were an android.
I'm not. I'm a bio-android. Prototype.
Here it comes.
Right.
They're not expecting to be shot at with stingers. They got careless. Fire! Assault choppers will be here soon. Let's clear out.
Kuze.
We're gonna get pinned down if we stay in here another minute. Now, you guys will head out first. I'll take the plutonium and be the last one out. We'll regroup in those buildings behind us. It's like a maze in there. We can still beat them.
They're using thermoptic camo. Our targets sure as hell don't look like a typical SDA unit.
What's going on here? According to the orders we received, the people who made off with the plutonium were supposed to be 5 low-ranking soldiers.
Men, we're gonna pursue. Split into 2 teams in Formation B.
Roger!
Go on ahead.
Hold on. There's a glitch. The ECM isn't working. Something must have gone wrong. Flip your comms on. Use formation A.
Proto, can you lock the door?
Yes. I'm sorry to put you through all this trouble, sir.
It's all right. There's more important issues now. Have you gotten any updates from the Tachikomas?
Yes. There's no activity on the nuclear sub. Also, it looks like the sentry plane over Dejima has crashed.
You mean the refugees shot it down?
I don't have the details, but it seems likely.
That changes things. We should be able to get through to Dejima now.
Sir, it appears the MSDA sentry plane has been shot down.
Oh, the refugees are isolated, so he's trying to reunite them, of course. I suppose it's time for the finishing touches. Draw them out. Get the defense agency to run some airstrikes from their ships.
Understood.
Is anyone here?
Yes, sir.
I'd like you to mail a letter for me.
A letter, sir?
Yes, send it express.
Tachikoma, can you hear me?
Affirmative, Major! We have a law
What's the status of Bato's team?
They're safe! They seem to be inside a building, so there's no visual confirmation.
I found Kuze. Report my position to Bato and the others.
Right. We have some other news, and it isn't good.
What is it?
Apparently, an American nuclear sub is holding position off the coast of Okinawa. It looks like it's planning to launch a nuclear strike at Dejima.
Are you sure? Give me a visual feed.
You got it!
What the hell? Then why'd we even bother to bring this thing here? Son of a... What about the arrival of the inspection team? Major!
Bato, you need to get that plutonium to the bridge right away, understand? They're planning to launch the missile before the inspection team arrives. The SDA forces are guarding the bridge. Get the plutonium to them and brief them on the situation.
Not until you get out of here, Major. We've got extreme heat on our tail at the moment. We'll move as fast as we can, but things could get a little hairy here.
Who's after you?
Seems like it's the Rangers from Section 4.
Are you certain?
Yeah, they must have followed us to get the plutonium back.
Get rid of them, whatever it takes. I'll catch up with you soon.
Give it our best shot.
Let's move!
How many times have we met? Is this the second time or the third? Why are you following me?
We went to a lot of trouble to get here. We brought the plutonium as promised. Come with me. If you don't, there'll be massive casualties, refugees included, and they'll put the blame on your shoulders.
What's going to happen now?
A nuke, and they'll call it a suicide attack by the refugees.
What? Who are you?
Hey! It looks like the Aegis cruisers are preparing a missile strike before the nuclear attack!
They've got up to us, huh? Looks that way. They've switched to a different formation. Activate optical camouflage. Tachikoma, see if you can decrypt their signals and run a back hack.
We'll try, but you should be careful. There'll be a missile strike from the Aegis cruisers soon. They probably won't target residential areas, but once they start the attack, anything could happen.
What about the nuke?
They haven't launched it yet.
They sure didn't waste any time getting started.
Movement here, too.
Damn it, they started already. There's no time. We'll surrender to the SDA together. I'll drag you there if I have to. What'll it be?
All right. I'm explaining the situation to the refugees, the ones I'm working with directly. I'll leave the final decision to them. But for now, let's head to the bridge.
Show me the trajectory. All right.
It's calmed down. For now.
Tachikoma, status report.
Major, you're okay!
Yeah, still in one piece.
We're expecting the nuclear strike. It could come any minute now. You should get out of the area immediately.
Has the government released any official statements?
They announced there would be more airstrikes as needed in order to secure the area for the inspection team.
It's no use. It looks like we're sealed in.
I see.
Major, don't tell me
Yeah, I'm trapped under a pile of debris. Looks like I'll have to leave this in Bato's hands.
Oh no! Isn't there anything you can do to get out?
I'll do what I can. You stay focused on Bato's team. Give them as much support as possible.
Roger!
So, have you and the refugees linked up?
Yes, a great many of them have returned. Though it looks like most of them are in a panic thanks to that airstrike. You spoke about a nuclear attack. How did you find out about it? What group do you work for?
I'm a police officer, believe it or not. In the course of investigating the Individual 11 crime, we uncovered a project within the government to physically drive out all of the refugees. We've been trailing you in order to expose it.
If that's true, why did you bring the plutonium here?
We knew you hadn't been given any plutonium. That's why we stole the charge. It was the bomb they'd placed in Fukuoka. The idea was to use it as evidence so we could bring a resolution to this situation if possible. But the enemy's plan unfolded faster than we anticipated. We didn't expect them to cut a deal with the American Empire for a nuclear attack.
Who has the plutonium now?
My team has it. They're trying to get it to the Self-Defense Army, but they've been ambushed by a squad that was tailing them, so it's going to be difficult.
I see. So, have you given up on the idea of making me turn myself in?
Well, not exactly, but...
I turned off the zoning and filtering on my hub cyberbrain a while ago. Anyone who wants to can connect and see everything that's happening here. We can try to get out, and if we do, I intend to carry out my revolution. I made up my mind when you told me there would be a nuclear strike.
You did? What sort of revolution?
Tachikoma, did you run the backhack on their communications?
I'm working on it. They seem to be changing their encryption at random based on prime numbers.
Get down! We're moving out.
Moving out.
We're going outside. Tachikoma, how's the backhack coming?
Almost done.
Kuze? What do you mean when you say revolution?
I mean the transference of people to the superstructure. Cast off the fossilized system and fuse with the net.
People fusing with the net?
Chief, she's here.
Proto, open the door. Ah, good. Are you all right, Prime Minister?
I understand the situation. Can you patch into my American Empire hotline from this room? I'll try requesting that they cancel the nuclear strike.
Please do. It all hinges on whether or not they realize what's going on.
Yes, that's a good point.
There, you're surrounded. Put down the plutonium and disengage your optical camo.
Mr. Bato, the backhack is in place!
I'm setting it down right now. Well, I'm putting the case down. Make a break for the walls with your camo still on.
Roger.
Hold fire! You'll hit our own people! Okay, I'm gonna disengage my optical camouflage now. If you still want to carry out your mission after I do, go ahead and shoot. But maybe seeing my face will convince you to listen to what I have to say. This is a matter of life and death.
You're... Those eyes. Were you a ranger?
That's right.
After my experiences on the peninsula, I saw things more deeply. I found an order that was full of contradictions, exploitation by the powerful, a structure that had grown corrupt. But what disillusioned me most was that people took no responsibility for anything, even though they hadn't created anything themselves and they understood nothing. When the masses come across information they agree with, they immediately internalize it. That's how they're controlled. When people feel no sense of responsibility, no matter what the unintended consequences of their actions, that makes very poor use of the net. My revolution is also an act of revenge on such people.
Revenge?
I've had a fully prosthetic body ever since I was a child, so I've constantly felt a sense of disparity between the mental and the physical. I wanted to abandon this crippled body and paddle out into the sea of the net, if such a thing could be done. The Asian refugees gave a man like me a reason to live. They told me that my artificial face was handsome and flattered me by saying that my ghost could be seen in it. That was the first time I realized the spirit and the body might be inseparable, and I was able to think of myself as an actual human being, as if I were made of flesh and blood. But, just like everyone else, when they come across information that suits them, they get swept along the path of least resistance. I suppose that, in the end, humans are designed to follow the easiest path.
So, how do you plan to carry out your revenge?
I will grasp the memories and the ghosts of those who are linked to me and take them into the net. If a nuke is dropped here, they will lose their physical bodies, but they will gain the chance to undergo a forced evolution.
What are the odds of them being able to retain their individuality in the net?
I can't be sure. But as pioneers, they may evolve into a new kind of being who can enlighten those left behind in the base, constantly making them aware of the superstructure, in exactly the same way that humans have felt reverence and awe towards spiritual beings since ancient times.
That's your revenge and offer of salvation for those who let you down?
Yes, although I think of it as a revolution. I see that you are fully prosthetic too. Then you must have felt the doubts and fears caused by the disparity between body and spirit just as I have. What do you say? Will you come with me?
Do the refugees intend to go with you?
Yes. Most of them prefer the idea of carrying out the nuclear super bombing scenario. They probably want to feel like they weren't defeated. Even though that, too, is taking the easy way out.
I see. Bato, I'm gonna try rescuing the refugees using the method that Kuze suggested. The rest of you, let the Self-Defense Army know about the nuclear strike. Bato, are you listening to me?
You crazy I'm not letting you do this solo. Wait for me. You're not going alone.
What are they waiting for?
Beats me.
Whatever it is, let's get this to the bridge. The GSDA might buy your story if it comes from us.
When the second airstrike is completed, commence the invasion of Dejima. We want it locked down and secured for the arms inspectors.
I haven't seen any signals that we might be able to backhack.
Tachikoma, quickly gather up all the free area you can find within cyberspace. Secure enough room for me to upload the memories and ghosts of 3 million people.
What? Why the heck would you want us to do that?
There's no time to explain.
But is it even possible to do something like that?
I don't know. But I can't think of any other way to salvage the refugees, so just hurry up now and get to it.
Roger!
I just ordered my support AIs to begin securing all the available area in cyberspace. Once they're ready, we'll get started.
Thanks for your help.
So even if you and I successfully upload our ghosts into cyberspace and we manage to survive, what about the people who don't have cyber brains?
Refugees with family members like that will have difficulty accepting this decision, I know. I expect that they'll lose faith in me and leave Dejima of their own accord.
In a situation such as this one, the role of the leader is both invaluable and filled with uncertainty. When you're in a position where you're required to lead many people, you're sometimes forced to make difficult decisions. Don't worry, I'm sure that those people will understand.
Well, I hope you're right.
Tachikoma, what's the shortest route to the Major's location?
Mr. Bato, I thought you were going to the bridge.
I'm gonna help the Major.
Mr. Bato, the line went dead.
Do you think they'll use the confusion caused by the airstrike to fire off the nuclear missile? Judging by the fact that the American submarine is running completely silent, the launch time might have been set beforehand.
If that's the case, and we consider the timing of the Aegis cruiser withdrawal and the micro machine dispersal, we might be looking at a launch time of, say, 100 hours. Oh. Hey, you guys, I want your honest opinion. Do you believe that the refugees' ghosts will be preserved simply by uploading their memories to the net? From a biological process standpoint, memories are a vital component, all right. However, without a ghost, memories are nothing more than data. Hold on, isn't the Major betting everything on this as the refugees' last hope? Yeah, I understand all that, but this order is just plain crazy. I have to agree, but if we don't do something, we won't be able to save Mr. Bato and the others. That's why I think we ought to take matters into our own hands and ignore the Major's order. Are you kidding? We can't do that. Can we?
No use. I'm not getting any response at all from them.
The hotline is active and functioning properly.
But that would mean...
Frustrating. If Takakura is willing to go to these extremes, I'll put an end to this situation my own way.
Madam, who are you calling?
All right! We did it! This makes 8! Calculations like this are our specialty. For sure! This next satellite will let us put up a flat curtain along the missile's trajectory. Disobeying the Major's orders and deciding to take a chance on dropping satellites in its path sure was the right call. Yeah. What's the matter? The plan is gonna work. Well, the thing is, this satellite, isn't it the one that our AI is kept on?
But that's an American Empire satellite!
Yeah, but it looks as if we're being stored in payload space leased on that American Empire satellite that was launched from Japan.
What the hell? Even without that security treaty, we're still doing exactly what they say.
Even so, why do you think the Major would put our AI on one of their satellites? Well, maybe she was planning to use us to spy on them or something? We'll never know what she was thinking, but this puts us in a tough spot. We're almost out of time!
Mr. Ishikawa!
Yeah, what is it?
There's something important I gotta do. I gotta go somewhere with the others.
I see.
I'm sorry.
No sweat. Look after the Major and the others, okay?
Sure!
Major? Where are you?
Kuze,
Yes?
do you know how to fold origami cranes?
Cranes?
That's right. But only using your left hand?
With the correct control software, anyone could do that.
No, that's not what I mean.
Can you do that? Fold left-handed?
Now I can.
It sounds like you've endured your fair share of loneliness, too. I never asked, but what's your name?
I don't recall. I have a pseudonym, though. It's the same thing with you, isn't it?
You're right. The refugees have given me countless names. I joined forces with them with the intent to save them, but maybe the real reason I united with them was to keep the loneliness at bay.
Yet in the end, you couldn't make it go away because others could rely on you, but you were unable to rely on them.
Do you have someone who you can really rely on?
I suppose I do.
I see. I've been looking for mine for a long, long time.
I don't believe it. Wanna know something? I bet anything you guys have ghosts.
Hey, Proto, what happened?
Proto, what's the matter? What just happened to you?
Sir, it appears that the Tachikomas have rammed their satellite into the nuclear missile.
They've done what?
So we've successfully avoided a worst-case scenario.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I don't follow you. You'll have to explain that.
It appears some members of my team sacrificed themselves to stop that nuclear missile.
You lost men?
Don't concern yourself, ma'am. Who did you call just now?
It's me. The missile was intercepted. Well, no matter. Either way, we're still going to use Kayabuki's actions to establish a Cold War framework. What a shame he wasn't able to become a hero after all.
What happened?
I can't explain why, but it looks like my AIs did something other than what I ordered them to.
Major, you okay in there? The Tachikomas, huh?
I know.
Hey, Chief, if she contacted who I think she did...
Yes, I know. But for now, arresting the Chief Cabinet Secretary and Goda is our priority. It's slim, but there's a chance that what happened today won't be made public in our lifetimes. Now let's clean up this mess as quickly as possible.
Understood.
You may enter.
Chief Cabinet Secretary. I assume you know the reason why we're here, so I'll come straight to the point. Your actions in this current situation amount to a coup d'etat and mass murder under the guise of war.
I've been prepared for that all along. And as for you, you turned out to be even more of a typical weak woman than I expected you to be. I don't know who you begged for help while in the midst of your emotional fit, but this country has to stand on its own 2 feet without the American empire.
It's acutely clear that you're laboring under a false impression.
That doesn't look like a nuclear explosion.
Your orders? Shall we launch a second missile, sir?
Not yet. Let's hold off on that until we can ID the southbound bogies that are approaching from the northeast.
What if the aircraft are marked with the 8-1 military insignia, sir?
National independence through personal independence. I intend to maintain an equal distance from the American Empire, the Ameri-Soviet Union, and China, as well as Asia and the nations of the EU.
A secret air self-defense army unit, huh? All right, Japan's made its intentions clear. We're pulling out.
You can take him away now.
Yes, ma'am.
The Prime Minister sent us! Come on, get in!
You got it! Stand up. That's mine. I'll take it if you don't mind.
Saito, Pazu, Boma.
You still in one piece, Major?
Yeah. Sorry, but stay put and give a thorough report to the Self-Defense Army.
Understood.
Kusei.
Ishikawa of Section 9, I take it. I came here to take that off your hands.
Oh, you mean this?
That's right.
Don't screw with us, punk. Section 9 practically invented all the dirty tricks.
If the vassal state is negligent in its services, the starvation of the consumer state is inevitable. Manpower shortages always give the slave manufacturing industries a boost. But if you're too strident in the assertion of rights, the arteries of capitalism will harden.
In its mind, this country has always considered itself a capitalist state, but in reality, it's a virtual paragon of socialism. Although when waste matter builds up in those arteries, brains are needed to manage the blood's distribution. With its claims of liberty and security, I'm sure it's the same in your country.
Of course. But what we do behind closed doors is a different matter.
All right. Do it.
Hmm?
Don't do it! Don't rush to your death!
It's Mr. Aramaki. What's all this about?
You, Kazundo Goda, you're accused of criminal action. Attempting to instigate civil war and conspire with a foreign power to start a war for personal gain. You're going to come with us now.
The Chief Cabinet Secretary admitted to most of the charges. And the final act of your play was a flop.
Are you sure? Even if you're right, arresting me now would be utterly pointless.
What's that supposed to mean?
The Chief Cabinet Secretary and I have a standalone relationship. Not only that, I've submitted a report written by me to the Metropolitan Police Headquarters. It should already be in their possession. Didn't you know? The Penal Code clearly states that by coming forward voluntarily, I can't be charged with any of the crimes you just mentioned. Therefore, I'm going to a country in need of someone with my abilities and talent.
Are you sure? Have it your way. I happen to have a note here from the Prime Minister. It's written here that she holds your abilities in the highest regard. But if there's a risk of those talents ending up in the hands of a foreign power, we're to prevent that from occurring at any cost. She also says that if it proves necessary, we shouldn't hesitate to use lethal force.
Now, how do you want to do this?
Don't worry. The old man's just bluffing. Let's go.
Right.
You think so, do you? Well, you're dead wrong.
Gee, what a crying shame.
Hi.
You want some too?
One question. How long have you people had a hand in this? From the very beginning?
Kuze!
Hurry! We can't let them eliminate him.
Major!
What's that you have there?
A crane.
A crane? My, these micro-machines are rather effective, aren't they? It'll be a painless death. You really are a fascinating person, that's for sure. However, we view you as a dangerous element. Your country has no need for charismatic leaders that can't be controlled. Docile consumers. That's the way to go.
Major, where are you? Off goofing around? Rendezvous with Azuma and Proto in Nihama Ward 4. What's the matter? The supplementary budget you requested was passed in its entirety.
Uchikoma, get me that information.
Yes, sir.
Major, listen to me. A great many lives were lost in this incident. All it's done is return the refugee issue right back to square one. Plus, Prime Minister Kayabuki's self-reliant United Front policy will likely prove to be a thorny path for the populace. People like us will be needed more than ever now.
Maybe.
What's with you? Sounds like someone else's problem.
Oh, come on. You didn't go and get all philosophical on us now, did you, Major?
Major, I have a report stating that the supplementary budget passed in the 329th session of Parliament.
Right. I'm calling off our round-the-clock cherry blossom op. We're back on the job, so saddle up.
About damn time.
Yeah.
I started to think I was gonna die of boredom.
I should have had a drink to warm myself up.
It sure is nice to have our major back.
What about the briefing? Want to handle it with a brain dive?
No, go on ahead without me and take command. I'll just meet up with you a little later.
Yeah, I see.
What is it?
Forget it. It was nothing anyway.
Christmas in the silent forest, the wind taking off the Christmas in